Praise be to Jesus Christ. My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, on this fifth Sunday in this period of Lent, the gospel that is proposed for us is the sin of the woman who was caught in the sin of adultery. That is in the gospel of John chapter 8 verse 1 to 11. Jesus is in the temple teaching. Meanwhile, the scribes and the Pharisees bring this woman and they are trying to embarrass her. The scribes and the Pharisees hold a special office, position, and because they have some form of authority in the society. What they have done today is an abuse of power, an abuse of their office. And I think this is the first message that the gospel is presenting to us, that we must be careful not to abuse the authority that has been entrusted to us. This sinful woman is brought to Jesus by force. She does not meet Jesus as the result of her own initiative. She is forced to meet him. It is a forced encounter. The scribes and the Pharisees, in their wickedness, try to set up a trap for Jesus. Now, what do you say? They ask Jesus. They really want to hear the word of Jesus, that if he decides the case in favor of the woman and frees her, then he violates the Mosaic law, or else if he stands firm and protects the law, and that way the woman loses her life. This woman is thus caught between those who charge her with the adultery, showing how severe they are because the Mosaic law has been broken, and Jesus, the visible image of the Father. Jesus is thus trapped in a dilemma: to agree the woman should be stoned to death, or to teach that the law should be broken. My dear brothers and sisters, what does Jesus do? He changes the terms of engagement and poses instead a dilemma to the inquirers. In other words, Jesus questions the scribes and the Pharisees in a way that he transforms the terms of their questions. Jesus refuses to play the drama the way the opponents want. He proposes a new way of playing it. He creates tension inside their lives. This is because Jesus, the visible image of the Father, does not want to judge the woman. He wants others also not to judge their fellow brothers and sisters, because as human beings, we are prone to sin, and thus we all need to be forgiven and shown love. Jesus then pauses and keeps on writing on the ground. It is not easy to speculate what he was writing about, but we can say he was first trying to remind the accusers, who are well versed with the scriptures, that man is made from the dust of the ground, and thus he is frail, he is weak. But secondly, he was trying to write the new commandment, that of love and mercy towards the same man who is frail and who is weak. When Jesus tells them that let the one who is without sin be the first one to cast the stone, they begin to walk away. This is because Jesus strikes at their hearts. He strikes at their intentions. He challenges each one of them to do a self-examination. And this is the hardest exam that anyone would love to do with his own life. My dear brothers and sisters, the new commandment of love and mercy is universally understood when each one of us as an individual examines his or her own conscience, and then gets caught by the tension of guilt that we are all victims of sinning differently, and that makes us beggars in need of being shown love and mercy, not only by God, but even by other people. Self-examination challenges us to change our habits of blame, of judgment, of condemnation, and even of thinking of punishing other people. At the end of the story, Jesus is all alone with the woman. The first encounter has resulted into a moment of conversion and purification for this woman. Jesus wipes away her shame and turns the evil planned for her into a moment of healing and conversion. He gives the woman a fresh start, a new beginning, another chance, and each one of us wishes or aspires a new start in this moment and this period of Lent. Finally, Jesus concludes by engaging the woman in a dialogue, whereby the woman acknowledges her sin And Jesus, the only one without sin, Jesus, who has not thrown a stone at her, finally discharges her with an invitation. And that invitation becomes our invitation this Sunday, that go your way, and by avoiding sin, testify to everybody that besides the law, there is also mercy and love. And may God bless you.